Hi, everyone. In this lesson, we're going to talk about user story, a core concept in agile software development. So, what is a user story? It's a short, simple description of a feature written from the point of view of the end user. It answers three important questions: who is the user? What do they want? And why do they want it? This helps development teams understand the user's real needs, not just technical requirements. Now, you might ask, why do we use user stories? First, they're easy to understand, even if you're not a technical person. Second, they help the whole team focus on user value and behavior, which is the heart of great product development. They're also the foundation of agile planning. Instead of giant requirement documents, we break work into short stories. And finally, they support real collaboration between developers, testers, designers, and the client. Let's look in the typical structure of a user story. A good story usually includes title, prerequisites, description, details, acceptance criteria, action result. Let's deep dive into the structure of a user story. A title, describing the feature. Prerequisites, any conditions that must be met before the story can be executed. A description, explaining what the user wants and why. Details, like input fields, UI components, or validations. Acceptance criteria, which define when the story is done. And finally, the action result. What should happen when the feature is used? This gives the team a 360-degree view of the requirement. The standard format is really simple. We say, as a user, I want to do something, so that benefit or goal. Let's take an example. As an admin, I want to add inquiry details so that I can keep a record of students. This tells us exactly who needs what and why it's important. Now, let's bring this all together using a real example, an inquiry form for a school app. Here's the title, Smart Kids Inquiry Form. The prerequisites are that the admin must be logged in, and the inquiry form should be available on the dashboard. The user story is, as an admin, I want to add inquiry details so that I can keep records of students. The details include fields like class, student name, birth date, parents' names and phone numbers, and so on. The age should be auto-calculated based on birth date. There's also a submit button that triggers validations and saves the data. The acceptance criteria include checks for required fields, correct date and phone formats, and displaying error messages when something's missing. Once the form is submitted, it should show a success message, reset the form, and add the data to an Excel sheet and list view. That's your full user story, from requirement to action result. So, how does all this help in real software projects? User stories become a central piece of communication in Agile. They help developers know exactly what to build. They help testers plan validations and write test cases. Designers can plan what the user interface should look like, and product owners can track progress by checking which stories are done. It keeps everyone aligned and focused on the same goal. To summarize, a user story describes a feature from the user's perspective. It must be clear, actionable, and testable. A complete user story includes a title, description, acceptance criteria, and expected results. User stories help Agile teams plan better, deliver faster, and stay focused on user value. Thanks for watching, and now you know exactly how to write and use user stories.